Music for this episode of About to Break is provided by Cat Beach Music. Whether you're looking to score an entire film or just need to find the perfect vibe for your next commercial project, our friends Bobby and Jen Hartree have what you're looking for. Check them out today at catbeachmusic.com. Hey everybody, you made it. Welcome to About to Break. This is the show where we talk about the ups and downs of life in the entertainment business. And boy, there are so many ups and downs. I feel like every week that passes, every time we put one of these podcasts out, there's been just a roller coaster of emotion. This week I was so anxious on a couple days about some shows that weren't coming through, and then out of nowhere I had a really cool one come up. You know, it's the way this business is. And this week on the show we have someone who has a very unique perspective on this business. It's Adam Wylie. Adam was a child actor and played in everything from Kindergarten Cop, Home Improvement, Seinfeld. He's also done voiceover work, playing everyone from Dennis the Menace to Peter Pan in Jake and the Neverland Pirates. I even got him to do some on here. Katie thought it was pretty cool because he played Brad in the show Gilmore Girls, which she is such a huge fan of. And we sat down to talk. We talked about what it was like growing up in show business, being a kid, going to auditions, and this weird moment when you realize that all your friends are grown-ups and you don't understand kids your own age at school. It was a great conversation. I met Adam through the Magic Castle, where we're both members. He's an incredible magician, an amazing musician. He can sing, he can tap dance. He does it all, folks. I had such a good conversation with him. I want to get into it right away. But first of all, I want to let you know next Wednesday, a week from today, I will be in Atlanta performing at Smith's Old Bar in the Atlanta Room, an incredible music venue, iconic music venue there in Atlanta. Tickets are available for that right now. The week after that, we've got our next About to Break live show. It's the Low Bar Variety Hour. And I'm so excited, guys. We've got some incredible acts coming up for this one. So we got Rob Balchunas. Rob's my friend. He's the balloon guy. I never know if I'm saying his name right. Rob, let me know if I'm saying your name right. But we got Rob. He's going to be there. We got Matt McCarthy, incredible stand-up comedian. We've got music from A Horse, A Spoon, A Bucket. Adam Wylie, who you're hearing on here right now, is going to be there. And many, many more acts. Come out, check that out. That's going to be May 22nd at the Clubhouse Theater here in Los Angeles. June 4th, I'll be just outside of Orlando, Florida, performing at Wizards Magic Theater. It's my first time there. I'm looking forward to that. The end of the month, I'll be back at the Magic Castle with my buddy James and the Peller. We got a brand new show we're putting up. I can't wait to share that with everybody. And we've got lots of more public shows. Throughout July, I'm going to be doing some shows here in Upland, California, my hometown. And then end of July, I'm going to be doing a run in Missouri, some public shows out there. More info to come on that, but I know you're going to enjoy this conversation. Everybody sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 72 of the About to Break podcast, my conversation with Adam Wylie.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Something is about to break.
Hey everybody, welcome to About to Break. I'm your host, Taylor Hughes, and I am sitting down under a glorious gazebo in Studio City, California.
It's pretty nice, I'm not going to lie.
With Adam Wylie.
Hey.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thank you for having me. I'm
this is
so
great.
excited.
We have vanilla lattes.
Which I love, from Pete's Coffee, by the way. And
Yeah.
no plug intended, but I guess I'd plug them.
Yeah, well, we're going to say all the names of all the establishments so that we can put in whatever one sponsors this episode later.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
We're sitting here at
McDonald's.
Yeah.
And
Chipotle.
Chipotle, oh, it's such a great place. I love Chipotle.
Yeah, I
Chipotle,
saw...
which is also owned by McDonald's.
Or
was. I think that...
I think it is.
Is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Still?
I don't know.
I think they had a falling out like Ken and Barbie.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Who's going to get the carnitas in the split?
Right?
I
think they added carnitas in the split.
This is the bad part, man. As I was driving over here and I saw Chipotle is literally like half a block this way.
And it's so good.
And I already started planning the rest of my day.
Right?
It was like...
That's what happens when you pass a Chipotle. You go, oh, now I have lunch.
Yes.
You're like, great.
I was literally going like, okay, I got another appointment later. I don't know what I'm going to do for food. And then I was like, Panera Bread, but I don't really feel like Panera Bread right now.
Exactly. You have to be in the mood for Panera. But Chipotle, you can have anytime, anywhere.
Yes. It's never too early or late to make a terrible choice.
It's so true. Terrible choices are the best. especially when it comes to food.
Yeah.
You feel great about your choice, and then afterwards you feel horrible about it, like almost instantly. It's amazing how that happens.
We've been talking about doing this for a little bit, you and I.
We have, yeah.
We've played a little bit of the thing in LA where it's like, we should totally do that. And then,
let's do the thing. Have your people call my people.
And then you realize I don't have any people.
Yeah. No wonder.
Oh, I'm the person.
Set up.
But we've done a few shows together, and here's what I think is amazing, and we'll get into all of this. But like, normally on this show, I have a comedian or a magician or a singer or an actor,
right?
And you do all the things.
I do all of the things.
When did you decide I'm going to do every job that exists? I'm going to do all those and do them very well.
Well, thank you for that, by the way. That's very kind of you, and the check is in the mail. But to be honest, it was instilled in me as a young child.
Okay.
I started in the entertainment industry when I was 5.
Whoo!
Yeah, I mean, literally birth, and it was like Dance Monkey. So my mom is a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
And said, look, she wanted to actually keep me the quote-unquote normal one in the family. I'm the youngest of 5 kids.
You're the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
So what were the other
kids,
ones doing?
One of them was acting.
Okay.
Another one was involved heavily. The other 2 were involved heavily in sports. My sister was doing her stuff, and my mom was just kind of like, all right, I'm done. I'm over like driving them around a gazillion different places.
Yeah.
And here I come out, this little redheaded kid, the only redheaded thing in my family.
Really?
Even in my lineage, like I'm the white sheep of the family is what I always say.
So a lot of people had questions for mom, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I believe I was the milkman's baby.
Yeah.
And it was really like Ed Sheeran as the milkman, and then he came out. And so my mom said, look, let's go on this audition. It's one, with your brother.
Yeah. And you're 5 years old.
They need a little brother. It's for like a Teddy Ruxpin commercial.
Okay.
Booked it.
What?
And it's just
it's like for out of the gate, your first thing you did.
Yeah, the first like 4 things was like it was like a Fisher Price print ad and like a Teddy Ruxpin commercial,
right?
And an Oreo commercial. And my mom was like, "All right, you need an agent. Like, this we can't mess around."
Was this based on like at the time? Were you just naturally good at acting, or was it just they're trying to book a little cute kid and you're a little cute kid?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I was naturally. You're 5. I don't think any.
What experience are you drawing from for this character?
Well, to be honest, I've studied at the Oxford School.
Right.
No, it wasn't any of that. I just kind of was right place, right time, right look. Mm-hmm. And my mom said, if this is something that you want to do, and I was like, yeah, it's so much fun. I had a blast. You're going to need to learn everything you can. Yeah. So she got me into singing lessons, which I was terrible at first. I come from 2 tone deaf parents. So,
really?
Yeah, like completely tone deaf.
Yet she knew she wanted you to have singing lessons.
Everything. Like literally she said, this business, they're going to ask you if you can do this, this, or this.
Right.
You can't be one of those people who say, I can do this, and you can't do it.
Right.
You're on the callback, they're probably going to have you actually do the thing.
Yeah.
So learn everything. So I've had every single lesson under the sun since I was a child, which is why I have a lot of hidden talents that nobody knows of, which is why I can tap dance or,
right.
My brother who started acting ended up dancing for 4 different ballet companies, and I took ballet with him for a long time. And
was this all in the LA area?
All in the LA area.
Okay.
And I started singing and playing sports and taking lessons for even sports, and just it's so crazy. My time as a child was so much fun, and I just had a million different eggs in a million different baskets.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And now I reap the benefits of it because if people say, hey, do you know how to do blah? I'm like, well, I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, actually I do.
Yeah.
Most likely I'll, there are of course those things where it's like, can you sail? And I'm like, no, but my wife can, like things like that. Where I'm just like, no, she was competitive at that. I'm afraid of water. But which I'm not really afraid of water. It just scares me. But
was that part of your dating process? Was like, okay, look, I've got these skills nailed. If you can pick up these 3.
To be honest, that would have been amazing. But as a magician, it's hard enough to find a girl.
That's the greatest trick ever.
Hi, I'm a nerd. Want to see a card trick? Okay, bye.
That's...
see you later. I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons or Munchkin now.
So no, the qualifications for me dating was a girl who's interested. That was about as far as I got.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So what was the journey like? I mean, you started taking all these different classes.
Mhm.
You're doing acting. Was it weird being like in junior high school and being an actor, or was that like a cool thing?
It was one of the hardest things that I would wish it on nobody.
Really?
Yeah. The kids were strange to me. They don't really know what's going on. You're
Like
telling
kids at school.
Absolutely, the kids at school. So you learn these adult jokes when you're like 6. So you're sitting
You're spending
here
all your time with
going,
adults.
hey, look, this is funny because it's this. And the kids are like, dude, you're weird. I don't get that. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, it's semantics. And they're like, what is that? Like, what are you talking about? And surprisingly, when you are on TV, right, the next day you're the champion of the school.
Okay.
Like, everyone's like, oh my God,
Do you
I
remember
saw
the
you
first-
last night
the
on
first
Empty
time that
Nest or
happened?
whatever
Okay,
it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember the first time it happened. But I remember, like, it happening, like, through Gilmore Girls or what have you. It was like, oh, I saw you last night on blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, girl who's interested in me for only the next 24 hours. And I know tomorrow you're going to
This is my window.
continue ignoring me.
Clear my schedule. I've got a date.
Yeah, exactly. And then it'll be, want to see a card trick? And then it's gone. But
So you thought, how can I make this more awkward? I'm going to start doing magic.
Exactly.
Like when did magic enter the picture?
well, first let me finish the
no, I'm
the
just going to
high school
ask you
story.
questions.
Yeah,
Adam,
no.
I just
Let me
asked
finish the high school
question
story because
after
I
question, no answers.
I got completely off track.
I'm just joking.
The teachers were surprisingly just as hard.
Really? Were they jerky about like you
Very.
going?
And here's why. I went to a private school for a long time.
Yeah.
This particular private school was like accredited and had their academic schedule set up for the year. Normally if you go to like a public school, which I
Right.
learned later in life, they only have an academic schedule weekly.
Right. It's like improv.
So if you say, exactly, it's like improv. So you say, hey, I'm going to be gone for the next 2 months. They go, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well,
Right, yeah.
I don't understand. What do you mean you're going to be gone?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I need all my work.
Like, well,
so
I
can,
have a job. You know,
Yeah.
I'm doing this. And so they're pissed. And they're like, ugh, this kid. I went from a private school to a public school.
Okay.
The craziest thing about it was I did a test. And I said, you know, I'm tired of people calling me Hollywood, saying I'm this like show off or what have you.
Yeah.
When really, I'm just trying to keep to myself and have a normal life and play sports. It got to the point where I was on the hockey team, the baseball team, the basketball team, all growing up, right? I even played football for a season. Once you miss a practice, it's all over.
Yeah.
Me making practices was really hard.
Right.
I remember specifically, like, hockey was easy because the practices, they were like, meh, and it doesn't, like, there's no plays. So you just kind of go, and I still play hockey today because of that, right? Football was the hardest. I remember the first practice, they said, Adam, return a kickoff. I returned it for a touchdown. It
Yeah.
was great. I'm
Yeah.
super, super fast. I always have been. And they're like, great. And then they put me at wide receiver, and then they put me at all these things. I think I missed the next practice, or came for half of it. I was taken off of everything.
What?
I played 3 minutes in one game. And I made the most practices for that football team than I have made for any other practices in my life.
It is
But
kind of an
didn't
all
matter.
or nothing thing. Yeah.
It's like, and it didn't matter how well I knew the playbook. I was like,
Right.
dude, I memorized this in 4 hours. I have to memorize scripts. You really think I'm not going
Right.
to memorize a playbook? And like, it ain't, you know, this is a lot easier.
Right.
Trust
Oh,
me.
yeah.
This is pictures. Like, it's amazing. So all of that was totally fine. And it was just amazing, like the judgment. So I went to a public school. I'm going to wrap this up. So
No,
I
it's great.
went to a public school.
This, just
And I
so
was
you
like,
know, this is the Adam episode. So we're supposed to
oh
talk
my
about
gosh.
you. That's the whole point of this.
So I went to the public school, and I was like, I'm going to do a test.
Okay.
I'm literally going to be nice and friendly no matter what anybody says to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to not tell anybody about anything
And what age was
that I've
this?
done. This was I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
So I went to a public school
Yeah.
in the Inland Empire. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a test.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you know, I'm not going to I'm going to be friendly. It's not that I'm going to keep to myself or be a loner or like act like I'm too cool for school.
Yeah.
They're going to be super friendly. I'm going to try to make friends, but I'm not going to like tell them who I am or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course it was, oh, Adam Wylie is now coming to this school. Because back then, people knew who I was. And it was like, I'm on Gilmore Girls and all of these things. And it was like, oh, well, immediately I got there the first day, it was like, oh, I heard he's a show off and I heard he's Hollywood and blah, 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 blah. Like immediately it got to the point where I had to graduate early because I booked Into the Woods. So I was moving to New York and doing my first Broadway show, which is like one of the most amazing things in the world. But I had to, again, get my academics from all my teachers.
Right.
I finally go to my math teacher, who, by the way, pulls me. If you know me in math, and I do math tricks in my show.
In your show.
I am horrible at math. Like I had my best friend tutor me, who's 12 years older than me, by the way, tutor me for years, and I scraped by with like a C, like scraped by, and I was like, oh my God. So I took this midterm once. That math teacher came up to me and pulled me aside and said, do you think your acting is interfering with your schoolwork? And I was like, no. Why?
Yeah.
He's like, because you got a C+ on your test. And I went, I passed. I was so incredibly excited and said, you don't understand, sir. That's the best score I've ever had in math.
Right.
You have no clue how much that excites me.
It's fascinating to me that in our education system, we think that everyone has to be good at math and science.
Oh, God.
And then they could get into other things. You know what I mean? But it's like,
absolutely.
People are artistic. Let them lean into the thing that they're great at.
Please.
We don't do that, though. No, because we need more teachers.
Yes, we need more teachers.
School teaches you how to be a teacher.
This is the PC version of the show, where we tell you that we need teachers.
Yes, guys.
But then the last day of school, I had to get all my schoolwork from him. Same teacher. And he gave me so much attitude. And he was like, he had a class full of seniors, and I just like laid into him. And I made him look like, he was like, I was like, all right, I've been asking you for a week. I need my schoolwork. Yeah. And he was like, just give me a minute.
Is it in the middle of class?
It's in the middle of a class. Literally, he like has the projection on, the lights are dark. And I was like, look, dude, I literally said this. I said, look, dude, it's not my fault that you're unprepared, and I've been trying to get this from you for 3 weeks, so don't you yell at me and take it out on me. And I slammed the door.
What?
And I was just like, God, that felt good, because I'll never have to see this douche again.
That's incredible, man.
I was just like, nah, nothing from nobody. See ya.
My wife's grandfather was a child actor. They grew up here in Echo Park, right next to the Max Sennett Studios.
Sure.
And he would simultaneously talk about it as the greatest experience of his life and yet the most challenging experience.
It is. And that's what it is. When you're working, it's incredible. And when you're not, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very hard to be a quote unquote normal kid, but I wouldn't have traded it for anything in the world.
Yeah.
The most experience I got, the knowledge that I've gained, is amazing. The experiences I've had, the amount of the world I've already seen.
Yeah.
I mean, the things I've been able to do in my life at this age, I'm going to be like 34 at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And I probably have the same experience as someone who's 75. It's just amazing. And I love this life, and I want to continue doing it. Magic-wise. Yeah. I'm going to go back to your question. Hi, Tangent. I started Magic.
You'll learn that there's no format to this show.
That's fine.
We don't ever have to. There's no track we have to get back onto. We just right off into the.
I'm so excited. Well, I'm also a talker, so like dead space, you don't have to worry about.
That's
with me.
Great.
So, back to Magic.
Yes,
I started Magic. I got interested in Magic. Because this is kind of a long story, but we're here.
Yeah.
So I was 5 years old when I saw my first magic trick. I was doing a production of Oliver at Glendale Center Theater.
Okay.
Loved Tim Dietline. Loved Glendale Center Theater. Kind of where it all started was me in theater.
Yeah.
And then going into like commercials and stuff. So I did my first ever show there too, as well. So this was like my third show there, second or third show. And in Oliver, you have to have these like silk scenes, like in Pick a Pocket.
Right.
So you start stealing silks from Fagin. Mm-hmm. So one of the guys took one of the silks and made it disappear backstage. And I was like,
you're like, what just happened?
So a kid came up to me and he said, this guy has a puzzle and you're never going to figure it out. Well, me being a precocious 5-year-old, I went, I'm going to figure it out. Right. So I was like, what's the thing? What's the puzzle? And he made it disappear. And I was like, what happened? What is life? And he does it he does it about 8 more times through me throughout the run.
Yeah.
And every time I'm just like, so the last show, he says, Adam, look at me. This isn't a puzzle. It's called a magic trick. And I was like, what is this magic you speak of? And that's how I talked to him.
Tell me, sir.
Yeah. And he showed me how it was done.
Yeah.
And of course, we know how it's done.
Right.
And I don't know if the audience knows how it's done. I'm not going to reveal it.
Yeah, it's
but
okay.
the gimmick that
just mind-blowing.
Was mind-blowing, but also he gave it to me.
What?
Right? But of course it was adult size.
Yeah.
So I could wear it as a hat.
Yeah.
At the time. Maybe a shoe.
Yeah.
I was like bitten by the bug, you know? And so I went to a magic shop and I got, I got Svengali decks and I got a stripper deck and I got...
Do you remember what shop it was?
You know what? I don't. I can picture it in my head and I know it's no longer around.
Okay.
But I don't remember the shop. I just remember buying, $100 worth of magic because I could, and I was so fascinated. I didn't know, of course, any sleight of hand except for that one thing.
Yeah.
And I bought my size for that, for that gimmick, and I was just so happy. Yeah. And magic was always a thing in my life, but I had so many things going on that I used to practice it when I was on sets or what have you. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, it wasn't my main priorities. Acting, of course, and all of those things that come with it, singing, dancing, and then sports. So it kind of went in that order: went acting, singing, dancing, sports. And magic fell out of my life, back in and out of my life. I remember Kundalini Rising card came out.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's buy more magic. Right?
Yeah.
So I got that and I was like, oh my gosh, I can do a rising card with any deck and it doesn't have to be gimmick. This is amazing. Yeah. So I did that at a party when I was about 15.
Yeah.
And a kid was like, do you do this? I was like, no, this is the 4 tricks that I remember from when I was a kid. And I'm like, you should do this. So I got all of my, all of that phantasmic magic that I bought as a kid back out with like the 3 separating ropes and the pyramid and the coin disappears and comes back in the box and all of these things. And I was like, I'm going to start doing this again. I had my hot rod and I had all of my, gimmicked decks. And I was like, I'm going to start doing this again. And I did. And I went to France when I was 17. Yeah. And I had this baggie full of all the magic that I knew. I made my own magician's policy. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't have it, but I can make it because I know it's, you just force a card. Right. It's going to be great. And then it's just from there. I left it all on the plane. I left every single piece. And, the helicopter card, the Houdini hover card, had just come out. And I went to Vegas with one of my best friends at the time. And we were doing that all up and down Vegas. I left everything on that plane. Yeah. 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I left all my magic on the plane. I run back to the plane, gone. Gone. Oh, no. Magic left my life until I was 20.
You just never
didn't
picked
it
up
touch
again.
It.
You were just like, well, I guess that's it.
Yep. Wow. I was like, it was $300 at that time worth of magic. Right. And things you can't find anymore. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? That's it. Yeah. There's nothing I do. And I also didn't know about sleight of hand. I knew a French drop and I knew how to use that gimmick from the disappearing handkerchief, and that was it. That's all I knew, and a couple of card things. But it was like a double lift, and maybe a frustration count. Yeah, I didn't even know an Elmsley count yet. I had nothing. So I do a show with somebody who's also interested in magic. Okay, and so I pick it up slowly. And I learned an Elmsley count for NFW because it had just come out, and also I'm like, okay, cool. NFW is really cool. I learn a couple of things. I learn a couple of, Bobo's coin slides, and I learn a couple more things. And I buy a little bit of stuff. I buy like Card Tune because it was really big at the time. Things like that. And then I do a show called Camelot in Boston at North Shore Music Theater. Okay. And I am there with my friend Vincent Rodriguez III. Who, if you don't know Vincent, he plays Josh on My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Cool. So we're sitting there and we do the same, we pop up the card at the same time, how you do from the deck, and it comes up and you catch it. And we go, you, me, we got to talk. So,
wait, you were just hanging out.
It was a read through of the show. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my God, there's another magician, right? And so I'm hearing it, and he's like, so who do you know? Do you like Jay Sankey, Jeff McBride, Michael Lamar? He's spouting off all of these names, and I go, who the hell are you talking about? I have no clue. You are speaking French. She's like, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know Daniel Garcia? Do you know Torn? Do you know blah? I'm like, no, overload. He's like, do you know what an Erdonese color change is? Do you know this? And I'm like, no, I don't know any of that crap. Right. I know twisting the aces. Yeah. I know that. He's like, okay, well, that's a start.
Yeah.
He sends me to Hank Lee's Magic Shop, which
Okay.
is one of the biggest online magic shops at the time.
Right.
And they have a physical store in Boston within walking distance
Oh, man.
from the theater. He says, here's Jeff McBride, Easy Master Card Miracles. Here is Michael Amar,
Yeah.
Card Miracles. And here is a Larry Jennings DVD.
He's like,
have
take
fun.
these. Yeah.
You need these. This will start you. You cannot call yourself a close-up magician and a card specialist ever again until
Right.
you can use a regular deck of cards and do a
Right.
3-hour show without repeating anything. And I
Yeah.
went, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
From then on, I was
Just
literally
obsessed.
hooked and obsessed. I got every DVD that I possibly could get my hands on. I memorized everything I possibly could, and I just soaked it up like a sponge.
Yeah.
And that was 12 years ago.
Okay.
That was only 12 years
It's
ago.
crazy, man.
I knew nothing 12 years ago.
It's crazy.
Like 13 years ago, it
Yeah.
would have been, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
And here I am,
Yeah.
winning awards and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? Right? And I'm like, what the hell? And performing at the Magic Castle regularly in different showrooms. And I'm just
Totally.
like, whoa, doing shows with like people. And I'm like, holy crap. And so, it's been awesome. And of course now I'm creating my own things and doing lots of shows, still acting still my first love.
Yeah.
And to be honest, acting and magic are the same thing. I have
This
to
is-
say that.
I wanted to ask you about it. I mean, there's the classic. Who was it? Was it Robert Houdin, or who was the guy who said
I'm sure.
a magician's just an actor playing the part of a magician?
I believe that was Houdini.
Was it Houdini?
Yeah, I believe that was
Yeah.
Houdini, but that basically is Robert Houdin.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, right?
Let's put it,
Right.
Let's be honest.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, he has his name after Robert
Right.
Houdin. So, yeah, it is. It's just an actor playing the part of a magician. Really, 75% of magic is how you're setting it up and
Right.
presentation. The sleights
Yeah.
are great and they're so much fun.
Yeah.
But to be honest, you don't need them to
Right.
you need them to fool magicians.
Yeah.
You need them for the more technical things, and I love them and I'm addicted to them and I love doing them.
Right.
And of course I do them because I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
But do you need them?
Yeah.
No. Because literally a double lift will destroy people when done the right way.
Right.
I mean,
Totally.
it basically fooled Houdini. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
was there another gimmick in there? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was basically a double lift.
Yeah.
And he's the king of cards. I mean, you know,
Right.
it's
Yeah, people get so obsessed with the newest,
Slights
latest,
and-
greatest, this and that,
no.
and I think in the process we forget that you're telling a story.
It's a
You're
performance,
supposed
exactly.
to give someone an experience,
Right.
and if it's just about the sleight, then it just becomes, oh, you can do something I can't do,
Exactly.
and that's the worst kind of magic ever.
Yeah.
Is when it's not about giving someone an experience. It's about going, look what I can do that you can't do, and that's
Exactly.
why people hate magic.
You know what the biggest compliment in magic is?
What?
Tell me if you know that this is right. When a big magician comes
Yeah.
up to you and says, I have a version of that. It's always like, I got him.
Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah.
Yes. Because what you're trying to do is get me
Right.
to share my
Right.
version, which
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
happy to do. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
For me, keeping everything secret
Yeah.
is totally great and cool.
Yeah.
But if somebody is willing and has that willing soul that just wants to perform it,
Yeah.
I have no problem saying, hey, let's work together. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
I will never tell you the trick if you're just that dude who's pissed off because they got fooled.
Yep.
Never. It's not worth it, and I'm not here to please you to please you in that way. I was here to give you some type of entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? And,
Oh yeah.
And then I get that same question where it's like, is magic real? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely it is.
Talk
And
about
people
that,
are like,
man.
what do you mean magic's real? I know it's all a trick. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Am I able to levitate, like for realsies? Or am I
Yeah.
able to really take a card and change it?
Yeah.
No, dude.
Right.
No, those are tricks. But the second I see that look in your eyes where you go, and you're astonished by what happened,
Yeah.
and you
It's as
suspend
real as it
belief,
gets.
that is creating
Yep.
what I call magic. That is a magical moment. That's the difference between knowing a couple tricks, knowing magic, and then
Right.
being a magician. There are 3 different levels. You know a trick, great.
Right.
Great. It can fool somebody. You know magic when you can do that trick and set it up in a way that is just
Yeah.
awe-inspiring, that inspires you to do more or looks effortless. When you can do it with just about anything, you're a magician.
When you're putting together a piece for your magic show,
Mhm.
do you switch hats? Do you go, okay, here I'm now looking at this from the perspective of a magician, and here's the effect, and this is how I'm going to accomplish it, and then you say, okay, now I'm going to be the actor, and I'm going to work on the story, and I'm going to, you know what I mean?
That's
or
exactly
is it all,
what I do.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like you just are operating on all these different levels all the time, or do you literally tell yourself like, okay, now let's work on this. Now, you know.
I'm pretty good at wearing a few hats at the same time.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I have to break it down. I have to think of it in the magician sense and say, okay, logically, this is what I want to make happen.
Right.
How do I make it happen? And that's step one. Then step two is, now how do I make it magic? Then step three is, now how do I make it a show?
Right.
How do I fit it so that it is when I do magic, every single trick I do, as you've seen, is its own performance. It's its own scene. It's its own act. It could really be its own capsule of something.
Yep.
And that's really what I strive to do, is that even if I'm doing 5 minutes, that 5 minutes needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
I learned this from Helder, actually.
Yeah.
To never have any movements that aren't justified. You know, and then Johnny Ace Palmer said, you know, you want them to think that that's the end. Then you want to go further.
Yeah.
Then you want to go further.
Yeah.
You don't want one ending to your show.
Right.
You want 2 or 3.
Right.
You want to do an ending, then you want something. Then you want something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what I've tried to look at magic as, is just being the unexpected, but also being very entertaining and making sense. It's got to all make sense, you know?
Yeah.
That's
something that I think very few people consider in their show.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people come up to me, like I was hanging out with Dan and Dave Buck in Vegas, and they told me, they were like, you know, we love making tricks, but we have no idea how to transition. No clue. And I was like, wow, dude, that's the easy part, like for me. And it's just amazing. Like, they're just super technical, and they can do things that I won't even be able to dream of in this lifetime.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have something too.
Yeah.
That makes my magic just as special as their magic, which is so cool to say. And I'm, you know, honored to even be able to be in that category, to say that. But that's what I love best, is going, hey, you know, I tell this to my friends all the time who are like, hey, I want to build a new show. I'm like, great, let's work together. Send me your best tricks. What do you feel like gets the best reactions? Yeah. And then I'll figure out how to transition them and make them a show. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And then give me what you're interested in and your hobbies and whatever. And that's what you want. You want a relatability to the audience. Because if everyone just thinks I'm a magician and I'm smarter than you, you're never going to hold them. You want a relatability. You want the audience to be on your side. And to be honest, they want to be on your side. And anyone who doesn't want to be on your side and they come up to you and say, hey, I want to do a magic trick for me. And then they try to figure it out right away. Walk away. They're not worth your art.
I was talking a couple of weeks ago, I think I was talking to Chipper on the podcast about
one of my favorite human beings on this planet.
Incredible, man.
Yeah, I love Chipper so much.
He's such a good dude.
Really is. And his dad is freaking amazing. Yeah. And
we were talking about how because you can buy magic tricks, which is just a whole thing I could go off on for years, but because you can buy magic tricks, someone will sell a trick with here's this, you know, the patter you say, here's like the words you say while you do the thing with the prop, right?
Yeah. I cast a shadow slowly over the cards. This will be triumphant. God.
Oh my goodness. And so what happens is everyone who does that effect does those jokes, does that story.
Oh, absolutely.
And so what's weird is they don't put any of themselves into it. Like you're saying, they don't go beginning, middle, end. Why am I doing this? What am I doing next? How do I transition from this to this in a way that's logical and, you know, meaningful and has a purpose to it? But so what's funny is, like, you see someone do an effect that, you know, Tabaret came up with.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that trick, though.
It's a great trick.
I have to say, it messes with me every single time. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like,
I have a version of it with rubber bands, but the ropes, they confuse me. So.
It's just funny to see someone do that effect, and when they do it, they're Tabaret. And then when they do this trick, they're Johnny Ace Palmer. And then when they do this trick, it's like magicians are schizophrenic because they never thought about Who am
Their
I?
own personality.
Yeah.
24601.
Yeah.
I'm Jean Valjean. Who am I? Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay. It's all right. It's musical theater time on the podcast.
Theater.
It's all right. I'm a nerd in more ways than one.
I hope you're enjoying this episode of the About to Break podcast. 3 quick ways that you can help us out here at About to Break. The first one is to go on iTunes and leave us a review. If you enjoyed the program, please leave us a 5-star review. Big thank you to everyone who's already done that. If you haven't yet, please jump over to iTunes. You'll need your iTunes account information. But you can click on the podcast, leave us a 5-star review. Just leave us a 1 or 2 sentence little blurb there. Let people know what you like about it. That helps us out huge. Second way you can help us at About to Break is by becoming a producer. Our goal is to have 1,000 people giving at least $1 a month to help offset the cost of producing these shows. And it does take time. And it is a passion project. I will continue putting these out for free because I think it's a helpful conversation. But anything you can do to help us out by producing the show would be awesome. Go over to abouttobreakpodcast.com, click on Become a Producer, and see what that's all about. Last thing that you can do, and this one is also a real simple way of making a difference, is just sharing the podcast. All right, when you see it out there on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, go ahead and follow along and then share it with your friends. Let someone else know how much you liked it because it sure does make a difference. All right, back to the program.
So I want to get back because acting's your first love.
It is, yeah.
What? And you've done several. I mean, you've done Broadway and you've done commercial acting.
I don't know how they let me in, but
and you've done television series. What is your favorite type of acting to do? I mean, do you?
To be honest,
Yeah. No, please don't be honest.
Okay. I hate it all. I'm not being honest.
I'll be honest.
Being honest, I miss everything when I'm not doing it. So I love to be basically a schizophrenic actor.
Yeah.
When I, of course, would love a career like Chris Pratt at the moment, who's just like doing commercials and a movie star and on a TV show. That's the greatest.
I just want Chris Pratt's abs. That's all.
Yeah,
I want.
Me too. Right. You and me both.
But I still want Chipotle.
Yeah, we can't have both. And guess what? Chipotle wins.
Right.
So in a perfect world,
right,
that's what would happen. I'd be getting movie offers and still like be free to do TV and theater when I'm not busy, and voiceover and commercials. Right.
Right.
But whenever I'm not doing something, I miss it. Okay. So if I haven't done a voiceover in a long time, I miss it. If I haven't done a movie in a while, I miss it. If I haven't done a TV show in a while, I miss it. If I haven't done theater, I miss it. I love it so much, and they all satisfy such a different part of the creative aspect.
Yeah.
Theater, it's just instant gratification. If it's a comedy and they are crying, sometimes that's not a good thing. If it's a drama and they're laughing, definitely not a good thing. Right? When you're doing well, when you've got them.
You get that
in the most part.
Yeah.
There will be, of course, that matinee blue hair audience where they're not giving you anything and you think you're a horrible human being, and then afterwards like, I love the play, and you're like, why didn't you say that in the moment?
It's very different than film, where you're like working for months on a project and then find out later if people enjoyed it or not.
And like you're praying, with your fingers crossed, and then you're like, oh my God, I hope this isn't. Well,
and it's already done. It's when you're on stage, you can always make adjustments on the fly. If you feel like this isn't connecting, I'm going to lean into this type of presentation a little bit more.
You can't read your audience. Like with magic.
Right.
You have to read your audience. You have to know what's working and what's not working. And the second you berate them and belittle them for the way they're not reacting because you're not happy with it.
How does
God, I can't tell you how many, tangent real quick.
No,
I can't
go
tell you
for it.
how many magicians I've seen that decide to just instantly insult their audience because they are unhappy with the reaction that they think they're supposed to be getting.
Oh, the whole, guys, come on guys, you're dead. Why are you so quiet?
Or what have you, right? And some magicians do that instantly before, they're instantly defensive before an audience even has a time to react. I remember I saw this magician in the close-up room, and I won't say who it is. He has this patter about 5 minutes in where he picks somebody out and insults someone.
Okay.
Do you know who he insulted?
No.
Me. So he looks right at me and says the joke, and I go, you lost me. I don't care what. You could literally crush a rock into a diamond with your butt, and I wouldn't care at the moment because you just lost me.
Yeah.
And it's just so, you're a magician and people are already a bit defensive sometimes just by saying those words, but don't make it harder on yourself.
Yeah.
Man, listen to them. Work with what they want. What were we talking about? See, this is why I can't go on tangents.
I love it.
because I am spacey. So
you were talking about how whenever you're not doing something, you really want to do that thing. How does your wife deal with that? I mean, does she just totally get it? Is she in the same kind of?
She's a performer.
Yeah.
My in-laws are actors that are well known that have done a gazillion things.
Yeah.
They've both done Broadway shows, and one of them is on 2 TV shows at the moment. And it's like
I don't
ridiculous.
know who your in-laws are. But we can tell later.
Okay. Yeah. My mother-in-law is Jenny O'Hara, who was the vice president of SAG for 8 years.
Wow.
And she's on Transparent and on Mindy Project and on she was on 911 recently, and like she's literally done everything.
Yeah.
Nick Ullett is her dad, and he was the original in Me and My Girl, and he was in Loot on Broadway, and
so your whole family is surrounded with this.
Yeah, so
life.
she's an amazing singer and actor in her own right. She makes me look and feel like I can't carry a tune, like I'm embarrassed to open my mouth when I sing. She really does, and so she totally gets it. She's a singer. She has a show this weekend. I have a show this weekend.
Yeah,
it's we get it.
Yeah,
we totally get it, and I'm so thankful to be in that position.
Yeah.
So she doesn't think that I'm just some weirdo, which is great.
How long have you guys been married now?
Officially, we've been married for 2 years. We had a just parents ceremony 2 years ago, and then we had the big ceremony.
Yeah,
last June.
Cool.
And it worked out wonderfully that way, to be honest. No matter how many people it pissed off, it was better for us. And that's what really matters, is that it's got to be good for you.
Yeah, man.
So for all of you out there who are thinking, hey, I want to get married beforehand, and I don't want a lot of people there, do it.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a big ceremony, do that too. Don't let anybody judge your process.
Right.
It's your process. At the end of the day, they can get mad at you all they want. It's not their wedding.
Right.
It doesn't say their name on the invitation anywhere. It doesn't say come to my guest's wedding.
Right.
It's your wedding. You do what you want. It's a piece of advice I can give you.
That's so good, man.
Yeah.
I remember our wedding was insane. It was crazy. There was way too many people there, and then afterward, we didn't even get to eat. We didn't.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
so hard to eat at the wedding.
And I'm just
my wife didn't get to eat either.
Just this is
she didn't even get to dance. It was.
She didn't get to dance.
She didn't even get to dance. She had to She had to play host, and then here I am, dancing in the water fountain, and she's like, "Hey, boys," because she literally had to be host, and I feel so bad that I wasn't picking up on that, but
I think the voiceover thing is fascinating. You've done so much of voiceover work. How did
love it.
How did that come about?
Fell into it when I was about 5.
Really?
So they needed a kid who could sing for a movie called The Swan Princess.
Okay.
And I played young Prince Derek at age 5.
Yeah.
And all it basically was singing. And I auditioned and did it. And then after that, I played Dennis the Menace on the Dennis the Menace cartoon series, The New Adventures of Dennis the Menace, for a couple years, which was so much fun. And literally I did Oh Yeah cartoons and Hey Arnold and As Told by Ginger and The Wild Thornberries and all of these Gargoyles, Batman Beyond, all of these things all these shows that I idolized growing up.
Right.
I was now meeting the people, and I was meeting my childhood heroes. I was like, no way, you were Leonardo and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Cam. No way, you were Raphael. I love you, Rob Paulson.
Crazy.
It's just. These are you're like, no way, you're Pinky. That's all the same people. You're like, holy mother, this is blowing my mind. I watch Rescue Rangers every freaking day.
Right. Because there's a whole different world of voiceover artists,
it's
right?
The most talented people and most unsuspecting lookingly talented people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will
you're
ever
not seeing
see.
it. Are
Tara
you
Strong, of course, looks gorgeous and is amazing and is the most talented person on the face of the planet. But some of these people, you look at them and you're like, oh, you look like the average guy. And then they open their mouth and you're like, holy crap. You can do things I can't even dream of.
Are you seeing storyboards of the episodes or what?
Not usually.
Just a script.
It's just a script.
So they just come
most likely. There are sometimes the animation's done first.
Okay.
Rarely, so rare. Usually, when you audition, you get a spec of what the character's about.
Okay.
You get a little cartoon-looking thing of what the character looks like.
Okay.
You do your thing. You do your whatever voice you come up with in your head.
Yeah.
If they like you, you record the thing and you kind of play around with the character and such.
Yeah.
And then you'll do ADR after, and it'll all be animated after you record.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so the ADR is just, we thought this fall was 5 feet and it ended up being 20 feet. So if you could give me a little more, and then, here he needs a struggle, and sometimes I play 3 different characters in a cartoon show. So when I did Legion of Superheroes, I was Brainiac 5. I was the voice command for the ship, and then I was also Colossal Boy.
Oh, that's
and
cool,
so
man.
it's so much fun because sometimes you have a scene with yourself. And so
I'm
you're
beside
You're
myself.
like, come on, Superboy.
hey dude, come over here. And you're like, what the? I have to say that now? Okay, get into different. You got a high voice, you got a low voice,
And then you
do
have
different
the
takes.
robotic voice.
and you're like,
You don't do different takes. You literally do like talking to yourself.
if you're there alone, you'll go line by line.
Okay.
But as a kid, that's mostly what happened.
Okay.
Or if there's a show with kids, like for Jake and the Neverland Pirates,
Right.
I recorded separately from the kids. All the
Okay.
kids recorded together, and then the adults recorded separately.
Yeah.
So I just went line by line, right? And I would just mess around the whole time, and we'd get it done in like 45 minutes, and they blocked out 2.5 hours because I talk.
Yeah.
And they know that. Like, Rob at Disney was like, yeah, you talk. I get it. But I know
funny.
we're going to give you an hour and 15. We
Right.
know you're going to get it done in like 35 minutes,
Right.
but we'll just mess around. I was like, yes, let's do it.
When that audition came through, were they originally looking for a kid, or were they looking?
No, they were looking for an adult.
Okay.
When that audition came through, they brought in 5 of us. That's
Okay.
it. 'Cause they
Just
were looking
5?
Just 5 guys.
You're like, I got a 1 in 5 chance of some mailbox money.
Yeah, I was so excited. And I remember that a friend of mine went in before me, who I love and respect, and he killed it.
Yeah.
And they literally get, like, you heard the roars from the crowd, right? And you were just like, why am I going in? Why am I going in?
Yeah.
And he came out, and then my buddy Dave, who works for casting at Disney, was like, just so you know, he just killed it.
Yeah.
No pressure. And I was like, great.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
I feel so good.
I go in there and I get a very similar response, and I was like, no way. No way.
Yeah.
It would be a dream. Like, I was nicknamed Peter Pan as a kid because they're like, my God, you just won't, like, you're literally the boy who doesn't grow up. I think I felt like I've known you for 20 years and you've never aged. So when I actually got that role, it was a dream come true, and it's still to this day, out of all the voiceovers I've ever done, my favorite.
It's your favorite.
I mean, it's an iconic role.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to be 17 forever.
Yeah.
16, 17. And it's, I sound 16, 17 without doing anything.
Right.
Which is great. Like, sometimes they have to say, he's too young. Pitch him down. Oh, okay. Sorry. And it's so, it was so cool. Like,
that's so cool.
I can't even tell you how much fun I had.
When you were doing that show, did you ever get to surprise some kid with that voice?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. So I've had a few friends call me and say, look, dude, my kid just watches Jake and the Neverland Pirates like it's going out of style.
Right.
Is there any way you can call him as Peter Pan? And now I have a thing. I say, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to change my contact in your phone to Peter Pan.
That's amazing.
And on their birthday, you text me.
Yeah.
And I will call them.
Yeah.
And you put them on the phone. Because doing it in person, I'm not going to lie, a kid just looks at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They can't connect the dots.
Right.
When they hear it.
Yeah.
And just using their audio memory, they connect it right away.
Should we do it now? Should I call you? Should it be?
Call me.
Okay, I'm going to
Change
call
my
you right
contact
now.
to Peter Pan.
I'm going to call right now. Okay. All right. Hello?
Hi, is this Taylor?
Yeah?
It's Peter Pan. Do you want to go straight to Neverland? Off to Neverland. Here we go.
It's amazing,
It's
dude.
so much fun.
It's so crazy.
Peter is the best voice in the world. I love him so much. Do you want to collect gold doubloons with me? Let's go.
It's so much fun.
Amazing. Do you ever do that at home? Like, just
All the time. You'd be surprised. Maybe you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm just like,
Yo ho, let's go.
for no reason whatsoever. My wife is like, "Are you okay?
Oh no.
You coming down with something?"
Yes, Peter Pan-itis.
What the?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got to ask you because we're like 48 minutes in.
I'm so sorry.
No, this is glorious. But I got to ask you because people are going to go, well, it's great to be Adam. 5 years old. He just like hopped up on stage and has been working ever since. And it's never been a challenge. And just goes from Broadway to voiceover to movies to TV. What's, I mean, the show's called About to Break because in this business, you're like always this close to like some breakthrough or this close to a mental breakdown. What's been one of your breaking points without putting you on the spot?
I only have to do one?
No, you can say.
Look, there as a former child actor, now adult actor, it's been really hard throughout my career. I'm not gonna lie. It hasn't been the easiest. You know, you're in a business that judges you by your look.
Yep.
And you are in a business that's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
And growing up, I've had a lot of transition periods. I'm in one now.
Yeah.
I'm in a transition period now.
Okay.
So picture this.
Yeah.
You're a kid.
Yep.
You're in a hit TV show. You're working all the time.
Right.
Now people only know you as that kid from that hit TV show. Right.
Yep.
So you're trying desperately to change it, but now you're going through puberty.
Jeez, buddy.
So it's so hard to transition, right? But you're okay. Then you get kind of past that awkward phase, but then you transition from teenager to more adult.
Right.
Another struggle, another setback. And in this business right now, I'm not gonna lie, it's really difficult. I'm turning a lot to magic.
Yeah.
I'm still, of course, auditioning all the time.
Right.
You know, and working anywhere I can, acting wise. But it's a struggle right now.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't look like I can be in high school or college anymore, but I don't look like your dad.
Right.
I still look 26.
Yeah.
But I'm the character-y 26-year-old. And I don't want to be like, oh, poor me. But right now, all of those parts aren't going to guys who look like me.
Wow.
They're not.
Yeah.
And that's okay because we need diversity in this day and age. We need all of this stuff, right? Because the ship always will come around. You will always get the roles that you are meant for. But right now it's a hard transition period.
Yeah.
There's more work, quote unquote. There's more, but not more work. There's actually more going on in the business than there ever has been. But for some reason right now, there's been less work for my type than there ever has been. And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's an ebb and flow, and you've got to be okay with that in this business. You know, you're not going to land 100% of anything.
Yeah.
Nobody does. For every 1,000 auditions that I've gone on, I maybe book one.
Yeah.
And it's about the love of the art. It's about getting your work out there. Every audition is a separate performance. That is a chance to perform. For me, the audition process is the work.
Yeah.
Once I start the work of it, that's where we get to play and have fun and come up and be creative and be so amazing. You know, it's a very tough business and you have to have a very thick skin. And even though I've done a lot throughout my career, I struggle too. Yeah. I definitely struggle. It's not been all puppy tails and rainbows for anybody in this business. It's really, really, really hard. And, you know, it slowly changes. Every once in a while, you'll have these years where it's just like, I can't fail. Right. And then you'll have these things where you just can't book anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's totally okay because that's why I have things like magic.
Right.
Things like singing.
Yep.
You know, when that happens, I create my own shows. You know, created a show called Music and Mystery with my wife and with Nathan Fan.
Yep.
And that was fun. And we're going to put that up again once he's back from doing Masters of Illusion in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we've got other pots, you know, clicking. Like I try to put together cabarets just to be seen, you know, continue going to acting classes and you know, continue to find and work and fine tune and continue putting on my own magic shows in the meantime, getting out there doing like the cabaret I'm doing this weekend to sing just to show people, hey, I'm still around.
Yep.
I'm still willing. And you know, I don't reject work. I'm never too good for work. You can't be because once you're too good for work, you're never going to last.
Yeah, man. That diversity too of different things. I mean, it's great that you grew up doing all these things like singing and acting and magic and all of that because you have the ability to do many different things, you know. Right.
And it's a blessing. It
Because
really is.
I think anyone who's in entertainment, whether you're an actor or a musician or a magician,
Absolutely. It's
there's
all the same. You're a
seasons-
struggling artist.
it's like being a realtor. Some seasons you make more money than you. I mean,
When the market plummets, so do you.
yeah, it's like, dude, there's some months where it's like, man, I've never seen so much money in my life. This is
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
And then there's like 2 months where it's like, well, this is a little quiet.
Well, as a magician, your biggest seasons are the end of the year, which is really tough
Right.
because you're doing parties in October and December.
Right.
Like, and you have to like fight them away with a stick.
Mhm.
Then when it comes to like January, February, and March before wedding season,
Right.
as a magician, you're like, what am I going to do? But that's pilot season for an actor,
Right.
which is great.
Oh yeah.
Because there's not a lot of magic stuff going on
Yeah.
unless I'm at the castle or doing shows with friends.
Yep.
That are their own creation, which I love doing. Those shows are the best.
It's my favorite. I'm like, how can we come up with a show that loses money but makes you so happy?
It's
Like,
so true.
Soul
Like,
points, man.
I mean, you're so lucky when you break even or just have just enough money to produce the next one.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's about getting your brand out there
Yeah.
and for better things to come up from it, but also doing what you love.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you've learned? And this isn't a how-to podcast, but I want to ask
Sure.
this.
Yeah, why not?
What's the biggest thing you've learned about acting? If someone goes, "Hey, I've got this audition," or maybe they've been going to tons of auditions and grinding it out and just haven't booked anything. What's the biggest? And maybe this is like not necessarily. It could be a technique thing, or it could just be like a mental thing that you do to center yourself, or what's a big key that you've learned that could help people?
The big key is try not to get frustrated. Don't worry if you don't get the call back. Don't worry if you don't get the job. Most of all, if you're going on an acting job to say, I need to pay my rent, you are not doing this for the right reasons because that's never going to happen. I promise you. I promise you. I've also learned that the second I try to book a vacation, I'll have a huge audition.
Right.
I haven't even taken a honeymoon yet with my wife.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Right.
that happens
Life. Yep.
because of life.
Yep.
And what I can say is this. My mom always told me whoever stays in it the longest wins. And that is actually very true. But
Yep.
not only that, you have to keep working on yourself. You have to keep working on your craft. Listen to what they're doing. Be flexible.
Yep.
Don't ever go into an audition thinking this is what the character has to be.
Right.
Because no. Also, a lot of people think that, the people behind the table are not on your side. And they want you to be the one. They're looking for this
that's
part.
true.
They need you to be the one.
When they find the guy, they're done with that.
Yeah.
They can move on to the next thing.
Put on the best face you can, the best show you can, and be moldable.
Yeah.
And never stop performing.
Yeah.
Literally don't stop. Just perform anywhere you can and get as much training and knowledge as you possibly can for the rest of your life. You will never know too much. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're working on. There's always something to learn.
Yes.
And there's always something to work on.
Yeah.
And, that's something that I struggle with all the time. I really need to take my own advice on that.
Yeah.
Like, more than you know. But like, I really do believe that you need to constantly be working on yourself and your craft and develop that thick skin. You're going to hear more no's than yeses. And it's not like even. It's not even by a little bit. It's by the biggest long shot you could ever imagine in your life.
To the point when you book it, you're like, holy crap, I booked it.
Exactly. You're so right. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. You don't go into it thinking you're going to book things right away. And listen. That's acting is reacting. We should all know that. But also listen to what they're telling you need to do.
Yeah.
If the casting director is, if you get the feedback and they're like, well, they came in kind of schlubby, change your wardrobe.
Right.
Don't say, well, they didn't like the way I dressed. Screw them. No.
Yeah.
This is creative help. It's like, I'm watching American Idol right now.
Yeah.
And Katy Perry has been giving gold advice to people. Like gold.
But then you see people come in and not apply it.
Well, they just go, screw them. I didn't get it. No. But she told you this is what you need to work on.
Yeah.
Work on that. Why? Because it's Katy Perry and she's successful. She knows what she's talking about, bro. Or girl, do the work necessary.
Right.
Be a sponge. It's like Bruce Lee says, be water.
Yeah.
You put water into a teapot, it becomes a teapot.
Yeah.
Be water.
Yeah.
You have to be, but be the best water that you possibly can. Be smart water.
Yeah.
You know, be from clouds.
Be from clouds.
You know,
That's fantastic.
be moldable, but be strong in your choice. Make that choice and be bold about it, but be open to change.
It's so good, man.
It's so hard to be open to change, and you have to be, because at the end of the day, this is your baby, but it's someone else's baby too. You got to share that baby. You got to parent it with somebody else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and the director has a vision, the writer has a vision, the producers have a vision, and you have a vision.
Right.
You got to know how to figure out how to coexist.
Yes.
And that is the thing, is that it's not to say that you just need to go, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. You need to have a voice too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's got to match everybody's vision. If you go in, well, I thought the character was blah.
Right.
That's great. And you can have aspects of that. That's awesome. But also input what they need.
Yeah. The goal of this production isn't to make you a star. The goal of this production is to create a product. And are you helping add to that vision, or are you
exactly,
being
or are you being
or a
selfish?
pain in the ass when you come in and people are like, and then you don't work.
Yeah. And then you're sitting at home thinking, why am I not working? I'm so talented. Yeah. Well, you can be as talented as you want, but you know, if you're not moldable to what they need, it doesn't matter how much talent you have.
Yep.
You know, I was in a place buying a pizza, and the person behind me, a very young kid, was a music producer, and he was saying, you know, he was talking about these artists that he was working with. He's like, man, you know, this artist is so talented, blah blah blah. They're never on time. I can never depend on them. I would rather take somebody who's a bit less talented and is always there, and always dependable, always on time, rather than this guy who's the most talented singer I've ever worked with, but I can't tell if he's going to be on time.
Right.
He has to change everything.
Yep.
You know, and that's so important. Be moldable, be dependable.
Yeah.
You know, if you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Life happens.
Yeah.
We all know this. But give the notice.
Right.
You know, like you're running 20 minutes late. Don't just get there and be like, yeah, I know, whatever.
Right.
You know, like,
or do that thing where you're like, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
And then 20 minutes later. My wife had to go through something like that, and it was just like, it was so frustrating. And it was like for a while. It was a good long time, and she was just like, I'm out. She like couldn't keep going.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
No, she was like, it's not. No matter how much you mean to me, my time is valuable too. Right. I understand yours is. So is mine.
This is a big part of it, man. Is like take care of people. Like you've got to be on behalf of others. You can't just be about yourself. You know, and otherwise, people don't want to have you be a part of stuff.
Yeah, and it's a shame to get yourself out of the work. Yeah. You know, that's the most heartbreaking about it, when you know it's so fixable. Like you see these actors who were huge, who aren't working anymore. And it's like, why? Well, these are the reasons. And it doesn't matter how much talent you have sometimes. You know, you've got to be able to play well with others.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the goal, is like you want to make a career out of this. You don't just want to have one thing you did. You want to be able to
It's a team sport. Acting's a team sport. You know, and people think it's an individual sport.
I never thought about that, but
it really is. It's a team sport. Yeah. No matter, even if you're just doing a scene alone. Yeah. Oh my God! You know, you got the sound guy, you've got the grips and electric, and you've got the guy running the camera. You've got the director. You've got the producers. Yeah. You got the DP, all working together.
Yep.
And it's only you on screen.
Right.
Great. And you're getting the credit.
Right.
But my gosh, there's so many people on behind the scenes who have just as much investment in that 5 seconds as you do.
Totally. So good, man. Dude, this has been freaking awesome.
This has been rad.
How can people follow you, see what you're doing?
I am on Twitter at This Is Adam Wylie.
Awesome.
I am on the Facebook.
Yep.
Under my name. I have a fan page. I have to say, my personal page, I try to keep as personal as possible.
Very nice.
Also on Instagram, ShowMonkey05, which is great. So you can follow me there on all of those platforms. I'm going to be, I don't know when this is airing, so I would plug shows that I'm
plug it.
Doing.
Yeah, no, I can put it out whenever.
I'm doing a cabaret on Sunday at Sterling Upstairs. That's Sunday the 6th, I believe.
Okay. This might come out the following Wednesday. Which
Then
would be like
I will be doing the new Bad Boys of Magic show at the Three of Clubs in Hollywood. The
Dan and Eric are amazing.
I am so excited,
fun.
and I'll be doing that May 20th, which is 3 days before my birthday.
We'll make sure this comes out before then. You guys got to go check it out. That show is so freaking good.
I'm so excited for it. I can't even tell you. Like I'm stoked that they asked me.
Yeah.
I was like looking at it like, oh man, I would love to do that show.
Yeah.
And Dan messaged me. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? You've got to be kidding me.
I love that.
And the first time he tried to message me for the show, it went to like my, do you accept this message? And I never look at those. And I was like, no. And I missed it, but it's okay because one of my favorite performers, David Kovac, took my place. And I was like, oh, that's okay. You guys got David Kovac, one of the funniest. Gosh. Him and Chipper Lowell, the two funniest magicians working.
Yeah. Like the funniest guys ever.
So I was like, okay.
So smart.
That's fun. Oh my gosh. I've randomly run into Kovac twice last week.
Yeah.
Once at Andrew Goldenhirsch's birthday party, and another just walking down Magnolia Boulevard right outside Romancing the Bean. And I was like, oh, yeah, David Kovac. And it was such a great experience.
Yeah.
I love him so much that it's just, and he has no idea that I like idolize him.
I love that.
Like once he hears this podcast,
right,
he's going to be like, oh, you're a creepy super fan. I see that now.
You're going to go in my messages I don't answer on Facebook.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Exactly.
It's so good, man. Guys, go check out the new Bad Boys of Magic on May 20th.
Check it out.
And
sorry,
Adam's going to be performing.
No,
it's fantastic, and I'm excited that you're doing it, man. I did their show.
I saw,
it was a month ago or 2 months ago, not that long ago. But I did their show and had such a fun time. And then they just did. I do a show called Low Bar Variety Hour.
I saw
we're going to talk about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited!
See if you want to come.
No, it's not a see if. It's may I please.
Oh yes,
because
totally.
It's a definite yes, and
it was so
fun.
Please,
please let me do it.
Yeah, man, those guys.
If you'll have me.
Oh yes, you're on it. We'll pitch it.
Oh gosh.
But they came out and did the show, and then we had pie afterward, and they're just the greatest dudes. You're gonna have a blast, man.
I'm so excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am to like just be honored to perform in all of these different shows.
It's so
like,
fun, man.
I love it so much. And they are so organized.
Yeah,
like, some of these shows, you're like, what am I doing? What time do I need to be there? And they've already like, it's not even till the end of the month.
Right.
And I already know exactly what's going on, exactly what's down. And I'm like, oh, I was 15 there for a minute. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Crack. Can I just brag about you for 1 second?
No.
Okay. When you were at the castle, I had friends there.
Yeah.
And I sent them to go see you.
Okay.
They saw your last show at 12:15, or your 11:30. It was either your 11:30 or your 12:15.
Okay.
And they were like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for that recommendation." Like,
dude,
I think it was like you and Johnny Ace. I was like, you can't miss these two shows. I don't care who else you see,
dude.
But like, you gotta, these are two of my favorite people on the planet, so you have to see these two shows, and they could not stop talking about how awesome your show was. So thank you for entertaining my guests.
Oh, thank you.
I was so excited to be able to send them to someone I love. So
I love that. I love that about the castle too. Like that same week, I brought up guests, and you were down in the museum, and you did this amazing show with a couple other guys, and you hosted the whole thing. And I was so it was one of those nights.
Right,
you remember that? This was one of those nights where I was really struggling to get my guests. You know, when it's really busy at the castle,
it's hard
trying to get a large group. And I said I did that thing, and we all do this, I think. But I was like, we're gonna go down the basement. We're gonna see what's going on down there. We might stop. We might keep going.
It's always like that, isn't it? It's a crapshoot.
But dude, I walked down and I was
it's like, oh my god, John Armstrong's doing new stuff. Sit now.
But I did that. I walked down and I saw you were just getting ready to do something. I was like, hold on, I'm going to get people. I ran up and I brought them down, and we had such a great time. And not only was your stuff great as always, but such an incredible host for that space. It was
Thank
really
you so much.
It really was a show. You transitioned between these different acts, and
thank you.
Yeah, it was very
really
nice.
Appreciate that. We had a ton of fun. I love doing things like that at the castle. So
that's so good.
And lately, I've had the pleasure of taking a bunch of the cast from the Pantages Theater.
Yeah,
because I've had a friend in just about every show. Like, it's such a small world theater that has been coming through there.
Yeah.
So I've been doing cast tours, and that show was that one was Aladdin. That was the second time the Aladdin cast had come.
Yeah.
And it's just a blessing. I'm probably going to do School of Rock because
So cool.
one of my friends is in that. So, and then next is Color Purple, which if I don't do that, if I don't take them to the castle, my wife will have my
She'll
head.
have a fit. She's like,
She will Joffrey me.
Yeah.
Like, there will be no ands, ifs, or buts. She'll be like, yeah. No, we're seeing the show, and you're taking them to the castle. Don't care how you do it.
So fun.
So,
so good, man. Well, guys, go check out Adam. Follow him on all of these socials. And
Please,
go
please.
see him the 20th at the Bad Boys of Magic. It's going to be great.
it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see all of you there.
It'll be great. Dude, thanks for doing this.
Thank you for
I'll
having
turn
me.
this off. We can keep talking. But
Let's do it.